everybody. Thanks a lot for joining us. We've got the studio all changed up. We're here for game week 316, I think it is. Basketball's happening, football's happening, playoffs are happening, NYC are through to the next round, and it's Montreal this weekend, as well as Celtic away to Hearts, and there's just tons of football absolutely everywhere. After a nice little period midweek of like some cup competitions and whatever, all the big teams in Europe are now casting one eye into the next midweek with this weekend in mind for crunch games, not only in the Champions League, but Europa League, Conference League, all that good stuff. So that means there's cans of worms everywhere, all over the SO5 arena, and we're here tonight to build winning teams. We're here to build the teams that are going to go out and smash the podium, that are going to go out and absolutely smash it and destroy it. And as always, like I do every game week these days on the game week live stream, we have joining us as always, zooming in from, I was going to say a part of Wales there, but I'm not too sure in terms of north, south, east and west, but from Wales somewhere, it's Harry. Harry boy, thanks. How are we doing?
Yeah, doing well, mate. Thank you for having me as always. And I can confirm I'm in the south of Wales.
Oh, there we go. South. I was going to say south. I was going to say it kind of like, you know, the way all the rappers say, like South Central LA. I was going to say it like that, like South Central Wales, you know. And then I thought, oh, he might say, oh, it's north, and then I'll look like a tool. And then I've just ended up doing that anyway. But there we go. But anyway, Harry, it's been some week, man. How you been?
Yeah, good, mate. Been busy. Finally released my podcast that I've been itching to do for a long time. I know I mentioned it to you over the last few weeks and stuff. And yeah, finally it came to fruition. And yeah, we managed to get our first episode out on Tuesday, Value of Talent podcast. Buzzing to sort of get another project in the Sorare realm. And that'll be coming out every Tuesday at 5 p.m. But yeah, not just buzzing, mate. Really busy and just really happy, you know.
It's always good getting the week off to a good start with that, getting a new project up and running, and make sure everyone, you know, any podcast places you go to, the Value of Talent podcast, make sure like, subscribe, follow, and check that out, because as we know with Sorare, like the under 23 market, basically, which is, you know, the crux of what a lot of, I'm sure what you'll be talking about, is one of the ones that everyone's so captivated by, and there's so many moving parts, so many emerging stories, and kind of, you know, all sorts of things are going on. So I'm very much looking forward to adding that into my cycle. But with it coming out early week, it actually caught me off guard this week, Harry boy, I'm not going to lie, because I'm normally expecting every podcast in the world comes out 100%. Like Thursday, Friday. So I'm, you know, Channy's in the house, fist bump to you. Channy's always really good for an early week drop, so that's going to be really good to slot in to my diary for sure. And since we've got Channy a fist bump, we better catch up for everyone else. Connor RVH was first in, fist bump, good to see you. Hoodwink wasn't far behind, good to see you, my man. PJ009, Harry Trades is also in the chat, he's all over the place everywhere. Gaza, fist bump. Rob C3107, hope you're well in the office, but everyone has left me, so I can well done, Rob C. He's catching this from his work. I love that. Office looking sweet, thank you very much, Cherry Harrison. I need to finish building my football squad and stop buying NBA players, says PJ. Well, we will talk about that, because that's been a theme of my midweek for sure. Charlie Dunbar, Ross Irvin, good to see you, fist bump. Youngie, good to see you. Lewis Blaine Sport, let's go. Sam D, Hey Mai, and Owen Beaumont, good to see all of you guys as ever. So yeah, Harry, I don't even know really where to start with the hurricane of stuff that's happened, you know, since we were last on. But we're talking about the World Cup as if that was like the big thing that we were all going to be bubbling over. And then, man, I've just been swept away in this NBA stuff. I can't like hide it. I don't want to go on about it too much in case it's like just fucking annoying, you know. But it has really swept me up. I watched a game last night, so I've picked up like 4 rares, right? And my strategy, I kind of said on a wee video that went out earlier, but like, I'm looking at a road to glory my way through this, you know, like I want to start with guys that are like middle of the road. They're maybe not star names, household names, the usual. That's what I want to do. It's hustle and grind and bump and move and trade and flip and flop and all that good stuff with this. So that's the kind of profile that I'm trying to get in quite quickly. And maybe 1 or 2 of them do hit off big, and that's the payoff. And then the rest of them are serviceable for the most part, you know. And the first game I managed to catch, I've got a couple of 1 of 1,000 rares, which I thought was maybe something to get since day 1 was available to me. And he had a game last night, and I watched him. And Harry, I was saying this, I recorded a video with Trip and B that'll be out later today, but I was watching this guy. His name is Nick Claxton, right? and he plays centre, right? Which is like it is like the centre of the pitch, right? But I was watching this guy, right? I'm not going to get into it all and pretend I don't know anything about basketball, right? But this guy, I've seen it at Trip and B. He was like a footballer. Like they would get the ball from like under their basketball hoop, right? Whatever it is, from the baseline or whatever, and they throw it into play, and he would be there to do whatever was required. Maybe mark a guy who's trying to nick the ball or whatever. And then as soon as the defense kind of session ends, and maybe the guy travels 6 yards with the ball, he just sprints, and then he's underneath the other team's hoop in the key, like in the actual thing. And then depending on what's going on with the play in terms of his shots and passes are needing made, he's in there. And then if it breaks down, he just legs it, and then he stands at the top of the key, and he just looks to mark anyone counter-attacking, right? Now, I've never watched a game of basketball with any intention before in my life, right? But I'm telling you, see when that Sorare vision that's on my face, I'm watching this guy, and after like 12 minutes or something, I'm like, yeah, Nick Claxton's the man. I can see why this kid's tipped for a big year, or I can see how this kid could break out or whatever. And I'm bought in, man, and I can dig it, man. Anyone who's here, let me know what you're thinking about what I just said there. Is it gibberish? Am I on the right train of thought? Let me know, because I might just be pissing into the wind with that theory, right? But I think as a football fan, like basketball, basically, like I can see that guy, and I'm talking to Trip and B, and I'm saying to him, that guy looks like a box-to-box midfielder, He's doing everything. And he's like, yeah, that's kind of what he's like, and that's the sort of footballer I love. And, there's something I can identify in basketball. It feels like maybe quite quickly that it's a style of player, a player that I can maybe, cheer for, if nothing else.
Yeah, no, I've actually got his stats up here. So he scored 27 for you last night, I presume.
Yeah.
Nets versus the Pelicans.
The game week 1 is this weekend.
No, of course, but I just mean just as a stat. I mean, I don't think it's a terrible score. I don't think it's like as high as it gets, but it's definitely a very respectable score. So I'm sure he's.
I think all those games it wasn't Boston Celtics that were playing, so I think those games were April. I looked at that as well. I might go check his scores. They're probably on Sorare data, but it wasn't.
Maybe that's weird because I'm sure I just had October on there then. October 20th.
Oh really? Am I tripping? It wasn't Celtics that were playing. Oh no, it's on our team there.
No, Pelicans. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, it's in the other order. Or am I tripping? Is it?
Yeah, so it's on the left. So you got Pelicans versus the Nets, right?
Am I losing my mind? Is that the way it always goes?
Not normally, no. But in like MLB and NBA, for whatever reason, it goes from left to right rather than, yeah.
I'm not losing my mind.
Or
It's
right
the opposite
to left,
in football, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is the opposite, 100%.
Oh yeah, 30 points you got. Oh no, it's somebody else I'm looking at, never mind. But yeah, so quite positive about that, and like because of the power cap thing, see guys that can always bang in like a bang average, like a good score, they're going to be kind of useful for the way I'm going to approach this,
Definitely.
Because that power cap thing, like I've played with that before, and that's what I was saying in some of the videos, is like I've been here, I've seen this stuff, I know the feelings and the emotions are going to go into the leaderboard and the team selection. I've seen it before, on so many levels, not just the power cap thing, but player profiles and, chasing the dragon with the big names and all the rest of it, or, all the stuff that we've all, some of us who have been on the channel, you included, Harry, with your own stuff, you've been here longer than I have, if not, the same. And it's going to be I'm just so much looking forward to it. But again, I've seen this earlier on with some content I was making, I forget where it was, but my mind, I'm kind of realizing over the last couple of days, is very single. It's like a gear, like if I'm in basketball mode, if I'm thinking about these cards and looking at the auctions and whatever, I find that I can't build my SO5 teams. My head just doesn't work. Like it's as if like I don't even know football anymore. It's so bizarre. So like today I had to come in here and not even think about it, because say the basketball did kind of sweep me up there for a day or two, and I was like, right, I really need to sort my teams out, and I need to be in football mode,
Yeah.
So it's one of these things. Maybe it's because I'm an old man, 34.
Nah, don't be silly.
But maybe that's a skill I can improve through playing this as well, is being able to, kind of change mode, if you like, a bit more seamlessly than perhaps what I'm used to at the moment.
Yeah, it'll come with time. I'm the same. I'm so one-dimensional in my sort of sporting knowledge to where, it's just going to take time for us sort of football natives to really adapt to these, all the new sports that so eventually and are onboarding and stuff. It's going to take time. Like I was the night it came out, I was messaging some of my old roommates in America that know the NBA better than I do. And I'm just like, lads, just give me some names because I'm lost right now. And they sort of did. And I did a bit of digging, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to wait a little bit. I'm definitely going to get involved, but I just wanted to sort out my sort of football side and make sure that I have no holes there before I really like dive in. I think I'm only going to play limited, to be completely honest, just because like my budget's probably only going to allow that. So yeah, no, I'm really excited to get involved. Obviously, commons for now, and yeah, hopefully I can sort of kick on after that.
I didn't plan on buying any rares. I was very much just going to common the crap out of it and get the £5 limiteds and really like push it that way. But
Yeah,
like the end product podcast will be out early Friday morning, like 6 a.m. or whatever. So you can catch it there. But I was kind of saying like you only get day one once, and there was a few guys. I'm like, you know what? If they were around this, like all the rares, I'm not going to go back through it in terms of the actual guys, because there's videos you can go and catch if you don't want to bore people with it. But I didn't really spend more than a quarter of an ETH on anyone, and a couple of my guys, I got huge props for picking them up. And one of the guys, Trey Jones, apparently had a great game last night, and another guy's like a pure hotly tipped rookie, which is he's still auctioning above where I paid for him.
nice.
I got the 3 of. I didn't get the 1 of, unfortunately, on that one. But some of a lot of the other ones are trending down, of course, because I got like a 1 of on the Klaxon, which that might not be really significant in the grand scheme of things, but we'll see. And and that kind of idea. So I wasn't expecting it, but it's just when some of the rares were in front of me, I was like, a rookie of that guy and a 1 of that guy. Here, if it's under a quarter of an ETH, it's about 0.2. So I'm thinking, I'm looking at football, and I'm like, what would I get for 0.2? Like a Bundesliga defender that shoots over 60. Like it's not really too exciting. Or a backup striker or a striker in Austria. Doesn't really. Like, I sold one of my rewards this week. It was a tier 2 striker in La Liga second division for 0.18 or something like that.
Yeah.
And that was from Specialist, the James Forrest hat-trick from last weekend, which was quality. And nice. Like for that, basically, I got a 1 of on a basketball rare, and I think the rares will be a bit more solid price-wise. I think limiteds are, you're going to be able to get great ones that will be very useful for savvy game weeks for like nominal fees quite soon, I would imagine, because it is off 5,000. But I think there will be a flip point with that. Like we've seen it with limiteds, Harry, with football, is there then becomes that flip point when demand outstrips what's there today, and that's when the secondary market really has a good time.
Kicks in, yeah.
So sometimes, like even getting these early ones that are a bit over the top, like sometimes their day comes back, and it's just, and again, because it's basketball, it's not football for me. I'm not married to these cards. It's not like a Talis Magno limited or something. I'm just saying like somewhere in the shirt tonight, of course, but or something like that where it's like, oh no, I'd really, really like to just keep that forever, The basketball, I'm like, sure. If it's doing well, I can be a bit more deliberate in that sense.
Definitely, 100%. And what do you think of the card designs, just on as a general sort of note?
I think they're absolutely quality. I really do. I've seen some people saying, and I want to say as well, welcome to Surface, fist bump. Good to see you, my man, who donated the Quinny card last week, and unfortunately didn't quite deliver for me when I was paired up with Tony. But again, Surface, great to see you, and thanks for joining us. I know you're right involved in NBA, so any takes you've got, Surface, are welcome as always. Hey, Mai is saying as well, basketball greater than baseball. Definitely with you on that one. Jordan Wallens, let's get it. Fist bump. Good to see you. And Hudson, Quinny and Harry stream that then Sorare data show later, Sorare content sorted for the evening. And Hudson, on top of that, looking up with Laird with Harry and Laird and Sam, that goes out at 5, So basically, once we finish, you can go and watch that if you want as well. And then I've got something out with Tripping later in the day also, depending on editing schedule. But yeah, I really like the card designs. I like that they're different, but they are kind of still uniform enough. Like I'll pull the page up on mine that I've got for it. Sorry, Harry, I'll just get rid of yours. And then where's my screen? Maybe I lost it. Oh, there it's there. So yeah, I like the look of them a bit better. The uniques are that kind of purpley. Was it me and you who spoke about this? But the uniques have a kind of purple tinge to it, which I like. I like black uniques, of course, on football, but I can see like the purple. It's got a bit more. It's just a bit more vibrant,
Yeah.
For the rest of the cards being so dark, because so many of the jerseys are black with some sort of trim on them. Like, I was looking at my rares, and then a rare or two I might buy, and I was looking at it, and I was like, I might end up with a team of rares that wear pure black tops, but they're all in different teams. Like, I've got 3 here. Spurs, Brooklyn, Kings, and then there was another guy who was in another team, and it was the same shirt, basically. Like, black with a bit of trim somehow.
Yeah.
So I think the colour of the card is probably quite important. So the unique being purple, I think I quite like that as a touch, because if they were black on top of that, it would probably swallow all those teams,
Yeah, 100%.
What do you think of the card designs?
I think they're really clean. I saw some people like mentioning that they're a bit dark, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much I agree with that for the most part. It's obviously going to depend on, well, the color of their jersey for the most part and stuff. There's obviously going to be contrasts and whatever, but no, for the most part, I think they're really clean. They're obviously very different to the football cards. Like, they don't have ages on them. I think that's an interesting one. I don't know if I like that. Like, I'm used to looking at a card and seeing, oh, well, that guy's 23. I know it could be an older card, so it might not be valid as we speak. But I know I think that is something that maybe should be on there somewhere. I don't know. Do you think age is a big thing that's not there, if that makes sense?
It's definitely important, I think, because like I've looked at some guys, like again, I was talking to Trippin earlier and I was telling him, oh, that game I was watching, and I told him a guy that stood out for me, another guy. And I looked at him and he's 33, and that totally changed my opinion of him, because some of these other guys I'm picking up are rookies and they're 22 or something. And this guy, I might still actually pick him up in the end, but if he's 33, I've got a different outlook on that guy,
Of course.
And
100%.
having it displayed probably helps the market just be a bit more user friendly. Because it's still vital information, I think.
Yeah, that's the only thing for me, I think, just looking at the card from a glance. And maybe even, I know they have the logos of the teams, but I'm not familiar with all of them right now.
Same.
So maybe that's my fault, but I would like the names to be on there, from a personal sort of standpoint.
Fair enough. Like the reason I've got these two on screen, Harry, you can see my screen, yeah?
Yeah.
These are both in the same team, these pictures, so we're talking about how dark they are. So my boy Marcus Smart here with the dyed green hair, apparently he was Defensive Player of the Year last year, I'm told. You can see his shirt quite bright and green, can't you? But his teammate here, and again, I just don't know if it's the size of the man to fit in the picture, is maybe the problem. But even the shirt looks like a darker green.
It does look a darker green, doesn't it?
Even if you think, okay, it's different proportions because their shoulders are in different places and whatever, but even that aside, the shirts look different.
My question is, why do they both have number 6 on their jerseys?
I think it's maybe a sponsor thing. Maybe it's like maybe that's somebody's logo.
I'm sure that's their actual. That should be their number, really, because
no, his number is just under the Boston thing. You can just see it here. So yeah, maybe that's too dark. Maybe you want this lightened up so you can see their jersey number behind their name a bit better. Because if you look at it here, like behind Marcus, you can see double digits starting, and it might tell us down here. No, it doesn't tell us the squad number anywhere. But it does on the so see on the actual mint, the jersey number gets a badge around it.
Okay.
So I got one by accident, Harry. I didn't even realise it. So I get told by, I don't mind saying, my brother told me this. He said this guy is the only person that can shoot on the Lakers. So all my American friends confirm or deny my brother's claim before you meet him. But apparently this guy is the only guy on the Lakers that's a shooter. That's pretty much his quote. And I didn't realise, but I seen it, I was like, oh, that's weird. Why is his thing highlighted? And then I realised I could just about see this is a number 4 behind his name. And I was like, oh, must be his shirt number. That's cool. I kind of stumbled into one by accident. So again, maybe, I don't even know if I did overpay for him. In fact, he's still probably quite cheap. Because I think these are the cheap prices now. It's like 60 quid for guys that play and like have some sort of, this guy, you can stick him in kind of vibe. So yeah,
it's weird. Why? I don't know. Like the fact that like you can't hardly see the 4. If that means, I know you know it's a 4, but it's like they haven't really thought about that.
I have to work that out, Whereas this guy's maybe a bit better, but that's the picture. But again, I know that's what is it 88? Is it 08? Is it?
Yeah.
Is it 99? Maybe like.
And Rob says, "Isn't LeBron on the Lakers?"
Ooh, my 33. That's good, eh? My rookie.
Nice. That's big.
Yeah, that's big. Yeah, I think, I don't know. You tell me at home. Should I be excited about that? Jay Vic, good to see you, my man, as well. Fist bump, good to see you. Hendo's in the house. Slow-mo, fist bump to both you legends. Launch of the NBA compared to MLB seems to be different levels. That's the thing, Charlie, for me as well. Like, is the whole in-house vibe. It feels like really NBA. It said, Sorare, you're our brother now. Kind of vibe. And it's like they're all just taking on. There's no, because in football, like we've all seen it with the football releases. There's always the troll accounts, and there's always the kind of the kind of naysayers, the ambulance chasers of this world in terms of journalists that want to just, this is potentially this, or this is this, or but I don't want to use the words. I don't want to give them any. I don't want to give it any hot air, But like, they just accuse like. They just say this is like I can't say it without saying it. Say Sorare's like a scam or something like that, but it is what it is. Just it's not. No one's trying to kid anyone on here. It is. It's all in front of you. No one's hiding anything. It's quite blatant what it is. There's no need to infer things around it. Whereas NBA are just like, aye, let's party. Like, this is the game for it, man. Let's get the fantasy. Let's get the fantasy on. Let's get the cards on. Let's bring the fans in. Let's give away cool prizes. Let's get who's your five? Oh, my five's this, and it's like the actual players. And let's see that guy. Let's see the guy that did the wee promo thing. I think his name's Towns
Bryson.
or something.
Oh yeah.
The guy, like, listen to him pick his team was so cool. I was like, that's brilliant. Like, he's proper into it and proper. Like, and he's like, anyone who buys my card, I'm going to shoot you hundreds of points. He's saying stuff like that in it, just like Tony does as well, kind of, I suppose. And that's what you want to hear. Is that kind of like, this is it, man. This is the game for us.
Definitely.
That's why I've been
What's
so
Mikey
hyped
Basson saying? Much easier to release something at the start of the season rather than the middle of one, as they did with the MLB. Yeah, I agree with you there, Mikey, for sure. Like that MLB launch was probably premature, wasn't it, and rushed. And yeah, the MLB, the NBA launch was obviously on the night that I think there was games on that night. I know you couldn't actually sort of gain from their scores for that night, but it was the launch of the NBA that night. So I think that all made perfect sense from a launch standpoint.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And again, I quite enjoyed like being able to tune into a game, and like again, the Sorare vision kicked in. Like, I think really, like, as this grows arms and legs and they do all the stuff that they're shaping up to do and speaking about, like, I said, like, I've never watched basketball like that before, but I could understand that guy's tactical role in the team. And then with the very basic matrix that this game has, I don't need to remember exactly, this is how many points, because it's my first game watching it. I'm not going to be an encyclopedia. But I know that, this is worth a point. This is a scoreable action. That this is I'm looking for rebounds. I'm looking for the commentator to say the things, because they do use the words. The commentators are very good at saying that's a steal for him or that's a rebound to that guy,
100%.
Channy has got on the works train. I can't wait. SMB, good to see it. Sam D, Quinny is going to sell up on football. No. So the NBA for me is all about hustle and grind. That's what it's all about. I want to enjoy it for the game, because with football it's too emotional for me with some of the Celtic stuff or whatever. And on that note, we will bring it back to football real quickly, Harry, and we'll kind of go into we'll go into football, because that's what we're here for the rest of the evening. If you want to talk anything basketball, throw it up there. We will take it as it comes, of course, right? But this, as you know, there's a member section on the channel. It's £1 a month or £2 a month. There's a stream every week. There's a Telegram group. Telegram's just like WhatsApp. We talk about Sorare, all that good stuff in there all the time. And the £2 membership gets a giveaway access, and it's for picking my Challenger Europe Limited team. Now, this is Sorare data. You jump onto this, you search me, Quinny, or FC Barcelona, that's my club, and then you go to Lineup Builder, Challenger Europe Limited, and then the team by most popular demand, as you can see, with the lovely features that we've got thanks to our good friends at Sorare Data, the most picked players is the team, right? We win a card, fantastic. I then come back here and I see who picked the actual team, because if it's the most popular or picked team, there's a fair chance someone's picked all five, and we'll then see captain choices and that kind of thing. Last week, we had a great card giveaway. I actually forget who the guy was, but it was a fantastic under-23 in Holland, who's a regular starting midfielder that bounces between 45 and 65. And, we've got a very good roster of cards to pick out here, as you can see from in Challenger. We've got a good portion of Celtic cards. We've then got a good contingent in Holland and a few pieces in Turkey and here and there. So a lot of strength and a lot of versatility. There's a bunchies picking the teams already, which is great. But there is like 100 members or something like that. So there should be way more teams in here. So dive onto this within the stream today, because I need to pick the team before deadline, which is tomorrow. So at any time, jump over here, get involved. And yeah, midweek, Harry. I'll just kind of show you what I had, because it wasn't very much, and then we'll see what you had, if that's okay. Just because we're on this screen now, just to maybe it's sticking on me. There we go. I've not really got much hope kind of going out there. All my guys have kind of ran and done bang average at best. The rares have died on their face, I think, really. With Robbo starting on the bench, All Black DNP is a bit of a killer. I would really need these R2 guys to pull off a miracle to get into it. I had a lot of hope for
Yeah.
this super rare lineup at one point. Maffeo got an assist, and this game went to 1 each, and then it got ruled off for VAR. And he's playing Brais Mendes, and it was a sticky decision to play them both. He still scored okay, but if he gets an assist, it's jackpot, I didn't play Carlos Elena, who in the Getafe match gets a goal and an assist and drops a 73. And this guy, I've been playing him every week when he's been dropping 38s. I didn't play him this game week. I opted for Yangel Herrera, so I need him tonight to outperform 73 to make me not look like a fool. Now, Brais Mendes did bring in a 62, but there was no way in a month of Sundays I was not going to pick Brais Mendes with the form he's been in.
Definitely not.
Unal got his bit. Soraya, no. So anyway, I'm 50 points off of something. If Yangel does outperform Elena, then maybe I get into the back end of this prize pool, but I'm not crossing my fingers and toes and saying my prayers on it. This team's surprisingly done well. Falcao scored a last-minute penalty against Atletico Madrid. He was my captain, so he brings in 75 points. Ander Herrera started the game, got an assist against Getafe as well. And Claudio Bravo started the game, which was a pure punt on my end, and he got a clean sheet. So that was lovely.
Nice.
Camavinga came off the bench to pick up 33 points, and we're in a tier 2. There's games, it's 79%. There's a good chance I drop into tier 3. I would hope I stay there, but again, a tier 3, I'm not going to get too excited about it.
Better than a kick in the teeth.
Definitely better than a kick in the teeth, for sure, mate. This team, Balotelli, DNP, does a kick in the balls. I need to investigate why. This team was mince. We've still got Captain Barrial, I suppose. And if he was to pop off, we can get a tier 3 from that. But that would be best case scenario. And then back here, Negredo, DNP, I'm done there. So, best case scenario, what we're looking at, 2 tier 3s?
Yeah.
Something like
you'd
that.
have to say so, wouldn't you?
So that's all for me. What about you, Harry? What have you got on this midweek?
Just one team for me, to be fair. Well, I put 2 in, but one of them was a throwaway all-star rare, which, obviously we've got Barcelona playing tonight, so I'll have hopefully Pedri and Fati in action there, but I'm on 30 points right now from Yunus Musa, so I'm going to need I'm going to need 90s, basically, from Pedri and Fati for any sort of ETH payout, which looks unlikely. But then, the under-23 Super Rare, which was the main lineup for the midweek, has kind of done okay as we speak. So 271 points right now. We are 48 points away from a tier 2 super rare. We're in the prizes as we speak, but obviously, we've still got 26% of the players to play. So I'm not sort of I'm not crazy hopeful right now. I'm even a little bit worried that Yari might not even start because he didn't last game. So I'm hoping he sort of gets back in, of course. But clean sheet from my keeper. Cuesta got a nice little adjustment overnight. A load of the gang players did, actually. For whatever reason, the scoring on their game was quite poor. Tanguy actually came off injured in the 58th minute, which really, really hurt me. It looks like he's got I think it's a thigh strain or something. Strained is some sort of muscle. So that's just not ideal. And then at the same time, Nico Williams actually scored like a healthy, 67. Obviously, I have the super. So that would have been a nice extra 30 points instead of, Cuesta or Tanguy, which really hurts a little bit. And then, Zion, in a 3-0 home victory, didn't get any decisive. I think Tom Bradshaw got 3 goals in 33 minutes. A little bit annoying, in terms of my captain sort of pickings. But like I said, I'm still in with a chance, and we'll see what tonight has in store for us.
The great thing I love about that, but is the big problem with Zion Fleming, his whole profile for the most part of this season is, Millwall aren't really an attacking team, they don't really get goals, but he's hit a little hot vein, and then if he's got a teammate that's starting to get into a streak as well, that's the makings of a run, where you can put him in and go, they're at home this week, he's good for it,
100%. And that's the same. I think they're home again this weekend to West Brom, who are like knocking on like bottom of the league almost.
Just sacked Steve Bruce 2 weeks ago or something.
Yeah, just sacked Steve Bruce. So, that sometimes goes for teams in a way, to be fair. But sure. Millwall are actually, they've hit some good form over the last 5 or 6 games. They were really, really slow starters. Zion himself was a slow starter in terms of like not getting any goals or assists at all. But like you said, seems to have hit a bit of form, as has the team as well, which is correlated quite nicely, I think.
Yeah, that's lovely, man, when that happens. It's because it is like, yeah, you're looking out for your guy, but for forwards, you need good team. You need, forward movement. You need.
Yeah,
So that's definitely a great development for him.
100%.
And yeah, looking up, he is looking up, and looking up is going out at 5 o'clock. By the way, today. So if you enjoyed episode 1 of that, that's out on Sorare TV later today at 5 o'clock. And I'm just seeing as well in the comments we've got SMB saying he just watched episode 24 of the End Product Podcast on Sorare TV and he really enjoyed it. Thank you very much, my man. Mikey Basson, yes, Sven Mignans was the giveaway we had. So very good card that we had there. And SMB saying that he's got a 20 Rotterdam team, worked magic last week. Good stuff. And I think I remember that team, in fact, and I'm looking forward to seeing that run again. Millwall, this is from Sorare Malta. Millwall, one of the formed teams in the Championship. They've had a good run coming up and are really decent at home. Nice spine to the team. Good to know from Sorare Malta. Will we ever get the Maltese Super League or whatever it's called on Sorare?
Got more of a chance getting the Welsh League, I think.
Probably. Quality. So,
but yeah, no.
But for the coming weekend, Harry, I kind of said in the tip-off to this that there's a lot of dynamics going on in European football at the moment, particularly for a lot of the big power teams. MLS, I'm wearing my New York City jersey tonight. It's playoff time, so there's very few fixtures, very few teams playing, of course, and it is basically now, for all intents and purposes, Europe and Argentina really that are the main ones kind of still knocking around. And Argentina's not getting even 3 games or something. I think Japan's not too dissimilar. Korea and such. So it's very Europe focused. I think all the the guys that are rising into form, the guys that are now ascending into their season, building towards the World Cup, whereas everyone else that we just spoke about there, it's wind down, consolidate, get over the line, don't get relegated, or whatever is going on necessarily. So the matches this week, right? I've got a few different dimensions to them because not only do we have all this league stuff to contend with, but we also have, for some of these teams, the bigger, more powerful ones, Europe. Match day 5 is very pivotal for a lot of clubs, and a lot of modern teams now have got the squads to flex, to rotate, and to position depending on the fixture. So this week, what I want us to kind of do when we're going through the fixtures is try and, like we always kind of do in essence, I suppose, it's not really going to be terribly different, I guess, but we're looking for the fixtures that might be misleading in one way or another. Is that a fixture to be really scared of? Is that a fixture we can maybe lean into more? Or, that kind of thing, rather than just calling it Bayern versus who, and that's the end of it, because it's maybe not going to quite be the case. So we'll have a quick scroll through, because again, we can easily spend an hour on fixtures, but we'll try and keep it to like a kind of concise little bit of just whatever is actually kind of catching the eye, as it were. But let me see. So PSG against Ajaccio. Okay, now that does look to be a walkover on the face of it. Okay, but with Messi, Neymar, all these kind of guys, do you still have any PSG guys? The rotation there, is there any kind of, what do we think about Ajaccio? Is that a team that we see everyone? I don't know what I'm basically saying, but I think you know what I'm saying. Do we see like PSG play everyone and beat them 8-0? Or do we see maybe Choupo-Moting start basically in that kind of crowd?
I don't know. I mean, obviously they will have midweek next week to look forward to, so it could be a case. It might be a case of It might be a case of like playing the main guys for like 60 minutes and getting the job done. Gusto's just said Neymar suspended, he believes, so that could be something to look into. But yeah, apart from that, I think they'll play as strong as they can and probably look to rotate 5 players at 60 minutes is what I imagine. But it's always hard to sort of to gauge that, really, isn't it?
Yeah, big time. And if Neymar's suspended, then it does kind of, well, I suppose Mbappe was on the bench recently, so then that probably gets Mbappe starting a bit more comfortably, so that's probably a positive for any Mbappe holders, which I'm going to be fearful of. Hakimi's come under some flack recently. One of the defenders went off in the last game injured, I think, as well, so I'm thinking my boy Mukiele might get some minutes. Anyone's got any thoughts on that, of course, let me know. But I think, Ajaccio, are only going to be, bump in the road for PSG this year, you would imagine.
Definitely.
Lille Monaco is an interesting one. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, my main man Badia Shield looks to still be out injured, so I'm sort of hesitant to really call much on that. But yeah, I think that'll be a tough game. I mean, Monaco haven't looked the same team without him in the side at the back, so I think Lille might score a few goals there. You know, Monaco haven't looked as good without him. They conceded 4 against Trabzonspor a week and a half ago, whenever that was, in the Europa League. So yeah, there's definitely a few defensive frailties in that Monaco side right now. With that injury, I think, to Badiashile. But yeah, you know, Lille have been scoring goals. Dave has been scoring goals. Timothy Weah's back, 2 assists on the weekend.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I think there could be goals in that game, definitely.
For sure. Marseille at home to Lens. The way Marseille are playing, if you've got Marseille cards at home, they're normally quite formidable, and the way that Tudor's got them playing, it's very front foot, it's very unforgiving, doesn't really change. So that's probably a good fixture for Marseille holders. Probably not much more being said on that. Celtic away at Hearts is a tough one, right? So I'll probably just say at this point, right, for anyone who's watching this, if after we've been live, thank you very much. If you're watching this after we've been live, I do appreciate it. And anyone who is live, thanks very much. But what I'll say, right, the team I think will play for Celtic tomorrow or the weekend will be Hart and goals. I think he's going to go Ralston, Carter Vickers, Jens, and Bernabe, Moy, O'Reilly, Hatate. I'm not sure about right wing. It's a toss up between Abada, Forrest, and Maeda, and I really cannot make my mind up. I really can't. If I was really pressed, I'd probably say Abada, and then I think it's Giakoumakis and Haksabanovic fill out the rest of the front three. There's a slight chance that Jota starts and comes off at half time, or has some sort of reintroduction to the squad in that sense. Wouldn't be surprised if it was a start, for example, because it's a big game. But equally, I wouldn't be surprised if he came on for the last 20, 30. And yeah, there's a chance because Abada's quoted, not Abada, Maeda is quoted this week as saying that Ange is like a dad to him. So, and he's getting better. His form's working up a little bit better. He did quite well last night by all accounts. And maybe he's got a little shout. And Forrest scored a hat-trick last week. How can you drop him? Yeah,
you can't.
So it's a tough one. I think it might go to Abada because he was just so clinical last night, and you kind of want Abada to play against Shakhtar more than you would probably want Forrest to play against Shakhtar. So that's why I think maybe me personally, if I was to say who I think for the purposes of this, I'd probably push Abada because I just think he's got a sniff of it now, and when he's really like that, he's on form in that sense. You just want to keep playing him and keep him going, and I think that might be the strategy with him, especially in Jota's absence in the meantime.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, I can't see how. Honestly, though, I can't see how Forrest doesn't start. You can't drop a player that's just scored a hat trick.
You're totally right. You're totally right.
It's so hard to do that. To keep people on board. Everyone, that doesn't just affect him, but for the dressing room's sake, you just can't really do that. I personally don't think anyway. I just don't know how that goes. How well that goes down.
Sure.
For team morale, but we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what we get tomorrow at 11:30, I guess, when news comes out. Yeah.
And Sorare player, fist bump to you. Love from Iceland. I'll be going to Glasgow in January. Really want to buy Celtic tickets. Where do I buy them? You can get them online. Celtic FC tickets or something like that. You can find it quite easy. You need to make an account and stuff. And yeah, it's quite straightforward by all accounts. Sorare Malta is saying that the league is semi-pro, so not likely. Teddy Chuma is carrying the torch. There's always been there's always one or two Maltese players floating around, and yeah, definitely a semi-pro league for sure. And it's Gusto, fist bump. Good to see you, my man. I'm very good. Thanks for asking. Mikey Baston saying up the Union, and Gusto is talking about the PSV Arsenal game also. And Gusto also reckons Ekitike or Sarabia has a chance of playing, so make it be known. And fist bump, Nellis is in the house. Good to see you, my man. It's been a while. And Endo is picked up. Sorry, Harry, I'm just catching up with the chat, but I was looking at that Coney SR before basketball came out. That Coney, I was really, really looking at it, really. Maybe still am a little bit, but I think it's a very good price for it. Where he's at now, Tudor, Mikey Baston. I don't know. Oh, Tudor, Igor Tudor. Yeah. In SMB, Dundee United stacking, getting used this week. Dundee United have got a good game with St Mirren, I think. We were at Scotland before I split off there at Celtic. But yeah, Dundee United are playing St Mirren. And Dundee United, they get knocked out of the cup, unfortunately, at midweek. But the league form has been really recovered under the new manager. Everyone's in kind of good form and good spirits. But St Mirren aren't mugs. They played Celtic recently and put on a good tactical display. So definitely not to be written off in that context necessarily. But it's a game that if Dundee United get the result that we would, I suppose, want them to. The usual suspects will score pretty well. Like your Levitts, your Watts. McGrath's not got a card. But Middleton. I don't know if Middleton's got a card, but the guys that have been doing well for them. Aberdeen Motherwell will be another tight game. Both teams very well equipped this year and both going pretty well. Good players on both sides. So again, any team that does come out of that victorious is probably going to be pulling 70 pluses on a few players. So a good fixture to be involved in. I'm not as close to the championship yet. I should have been, but basketball happened. So I'm not too sure where some of these clubs can lie. I know we're just talking Millwall and West Brom. I think that's probably a good fixture for Millwall by all accounts. So Zion Fleming holders will rejoice. And do we have many other Millwall cards, Harry? Do you know?
We have. Well, the whole team's technically on there now because they're one of the 5.
Well, was Millwall one of the 5? Did that?
Yeah,
I've totally dropped the ball on that. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
We have Millwall. Fantastic. So good picture for Millwall stackers. Fantastic. Did I know that?
Definitely. And then other than that, I mean, Norwich are away to Sheffield. It's not the easiest game in the world. Norwich have been a bit iffy. They've lost midweek, so they need to bounce back there.
Yep.
Watford at home to Luton's on paper a good fixture, but Imran Loser, one of their better players, did come off injured last night against Millwall. So yeah, look out for that if you're a Loser holder. And then Burnley away to Sunderland. Sunderland aren't great right now, to be honest. So, I mean, I know Burnley didn't get their clean sheet last night away to Birmingham, but you'd fancy them. And then it's the massive South Wales derby, Swansea versus Cardiff City. Luckily, it's not in my neck of the woods, so there shouldn't be too much trouble where I'm from. But
you should be safe. You wouldn't lock your door at night.
I should be safe, but yeah, I will probably go and watch that with a few of my friends in one of the pubs, I guess. But yeah, I'd say Millwall's probably the only standout fixture there on paper, and maybe Watford if you have those cards.
Yeah, sure. Bundesliga 2, again, I'm not anywhere near close enough to pass any sort of comment. Boca are still in the title race, I think, maybe, probably not, but they're at home. I forget who else. I know Tucumon and River. I think River are out of it now. Tucumon. Maybe is it Tucumon and Boca that are really going for it now? I think
Boca
River
are flying, yeah.
I think River have just about dropped the ball on it with a draw recently or something. And maybe
Racing. They're struggling right now.
I think there's like 4 teams up there, but I think River have just about dropped out of it. So those teams in question, I think they'll be going all guns blazing. Best 11s, no rotating or anything, which is good. For Ezekiel Barco holders like myself who are enjoying seeing him playing football again, which is lovely. In Serie A, we're always good to find big versus small here, I suppose. Juve at home to Empoli definitely feels like it on the face of it, but Juve have not been wildly convincing this year overall. But
no, they haven't, to be fair. And then obviously they got Benfica then midweek, so they'll really need to win that game. So they'll want everyone fresh for that, I imagine, because Champions League is, very important to these clubs. So I don't know. Juve at home, you'd fancy them to win, but you just never know what Juve you're going to get right now, I guess.
Yeah, and some of these Italian teams are good for a sucker punch, Like I'm looking at AC Milan Monza. Obviously, I've got a Monza midfielder now, so I'm very much biased. But I think it's a good game for my midfielder because he'll be involved probably in tackling and stuff, and there'll be a lot of pressure on him to execute well in the final third and whatever. But it should be a good game for Milan overall. But Monza are definitely no whipping boys. Their form has been ascending through the season, which has been great to see. And then these other 2 matches look quite tasty. If you can get the goal, oh wow, the next 3 matches look really tasty. If you can get the goal scorers in the starting 11s, and the winning team. But I think Napoli are really good for anything now, man. I love Napoli at the moment. Inter Fiorentina and then Lazio at Atalanta are the teams I'm talking about.
If there's not a few red cards in those 3 games, then I don't know. I might as well just wrap in my football knowledge now, to be honest.
Great shout.
Roma Napoli has reds and yellows written all over it for me.
Sure.
I gotta be honest.
Yeah, that's a great shout, Harry.
But yeah, no, big games, and I'm sure there'll be...
Atalanta Lazio is probably going to be the goal fest, because none of them really defend these days in great style.
True.
Definitely. And then let's see Portugal. Sporting are at home to a team I've never heard of, so I'm going to be stereotypical here and say that's going to be a stomper of a victory for Sporting.
It might be, but I'm pretty sure Casapia was one of the better Let me have a look quickly.
And then we also have
I know
Porto v Benfica.
Yeah, on Friday night. It's a big one. No, Casapia actually flying, to be fair. to be
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they're fourth in the league, so they're actually higher than Sporting right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
More the
Sporting
full
are
me?
fifth. No, I'm not just saying it like that. I just remember because
Yeah.
I know I had my Porto players were, Costa and stuff were playing against them a couple weeks back, and I was just like, oh, this will be a walk in the park, brand new team. But they're flying. They got 17 points from 9 games. Yeah, they're like, what's that? 8 points off top. So yeah, they're definitely. To be fair, they lost their last game, but before that they hadn't lost in 6. So yeah, definitely not a walk in the park, but yeah, should be a good game.
Yeah. And then, Porto v Benfica, that's going to take some cards out of the equation. But again, I think the team that wins is going to have a few 70s probably in the lineup somewhere. Depends on how the victory is achieved. Whether it's like a 1-0 big defensive display or, maybe a 2-0 and you've got a few decisive spread around kind of idea.
I see Benfica actually, well, just with the way they play under Roger Schmidt, I feel like they'll dominate possession more than Porto do, even though Porto are at home.
Sure.
But I did see a stat that's something like, I can't remember the time frame, but basically Benfica just don't beat Porto at home or away, if that makes sense. Yeah. I'm pretty, I don't know the exact stat. Someone might be able to correct me in the chat, but I'm sure it was something like they just don't beat them, basically.
I'm pretty sure the Porto Stadium's called the Dragão. So if they've got some sort of fear of the dragon, perhaps, then for Porto cards, that could be a good fixture to play. Because winning a derby like that, like if they do have a home field advantage, then maybe, again, if you know the team and you get a good idea of forecasting it, then that could definitely be a good one.
Definitely.
That's a great one, Harry boy. Now, Borussia Dortmund are playing Stuttgart, which looks like great attack versus crap defence, but Borussia Dortmund are wild. You never really know what the hell's going to happen with them in terms of who turns up and whatever. So if you do have any defensive components, I don't know how confident to feel, because Stuttgart are happy to go and attack,
They are, definitely.
And Borussia Dortmund do have a bit of a problem there with some injuries and stuff. I'm pretty sure Marco Reus is out injured again in the build-up to a World Cup. Pretty sure that has happened, and I've not imagined it.
No, he's injured. You're right.
As well as Mukoko's been starting, for better or for worse. He obviously is a very young player. Malin's been kind of in and out the team in spells, as is Brandt and Adeyemi. I've not really seen much of Adeyemi this year. I'm not too sure if he's been fit. I think he's maybe fit now, but so yeah, let's see how that one goes, I guess. I don't think there's any other game in here I'm really excited to look at. Hoffenheim Bayern is that's probably a game that you would hope the Bayern defence has got a good shot at conceding 3 in, because Hoffenheim are just going to attack and really go for it. Now, Kramaric is out. Kramaric has got an ankle injury. He's out for a few weeks, by the way, FYI anyone. Great news for Jorginho Rutter and Manis de Boer, so I reckon they'll probably be the starting strikers, as Skov has been playing as well. So anyway, I think this could be a good back and forth. Bayern will. Obviously, I've got many other things on their plate these days. And Hoffenheim are in really good form defensively also. So it's not going to be... I'm not saying they are going to score 3 or anything, but I think this will be a good... I think Bayern have got the potential to be nerfed, is my punchline to that, basically, Harry.
Yeah, I can see it. Definitely see that.
Yeah, but the rest of these games are all very nondescript. I'm not going to waste anyone's time on them, to be honest.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
And then we'll have a fire through anything else is catching us. We'll get to another important league for Sorare. So Eredivisie, right? So Ajax are away to Warwick. I think we do expect 3-0 plus on that kind of thing, don't we?
Yeah, Warwick aren't shocking, but yeah, they're not exactly great. But Ajax are just, right now their players are only performing in the league, obviously, because 1, they've had a very good run of fixtures, and 2, obviously Champions League's just been an absolute disaster class for them. So yeah, I'm sort of hoping that my Ajax guys can do something for me this weekend, although they're away. Probably 2 or 3-0, I'd say.
Yeah,
if I had to guess.
Vitesse at home to Emmen stands out to me. Vitesse just normally very good, and Emmen, again, like some of these are teams, they just concede goals as a hobby, So that could be a great card, great for Vitesse cards this week, I would imagine. What do you reckon of that Feyenoord fixture?
Fortuna aren't great. I'd say it's on paper it's a good fixture for Feyenoord. I would say also the neck fixture against Go Ahead Eagles is actually a good fixture as well. If you've got any, it's a pretty decent fixture. They're in similar positions in the table, but Go Ahead seem to enjoy conceding goals, and neck seem to score goals at home for the most part. So yeah, that could be a good fixture along with that Feyenoord, and as well as that, the AZ Alkmaar fixture is actually a really good one, albeit away. So some weirdly good fixtures I'd say in the Eredivisie this week, and then PSV away to Groningen is another good fixture. So, like all the decent teams in Holland all seem to have good fixtures, even though a couple of them are away.
Yeah. So Challenger probably going to be quite competitive with that kind of outlay. You'd imagine so
Yeah.
many varieties of different defenders and mids that will populate teams. Never mind the power players, obviously, that will dominate.
Definitely.
In Belgium, Ghent at home at Sarang. Everyone just wants to play Sarang, don't they? I think that's the kind of vibe with Belgium.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Ghent, and again, I think they're doing quite well in Conference League also. So spirits will be high in that camp, and good game for them. It's probably the disappointing derby. Liège versus Anderlecht, both teams that are full of disappointing players and stories of guys that just never kick on and do what they're meant to. They're playing each other. Do you think it might happen for one of them? Or do you think they'll nerf each other out and it's 0-0?
Well, maybe ask me if we were still streaming tonight. Obviously, Anderlecht played tonight, so I'm interested to see how that plans out for them tonight because they've been struggling recently, and to be fair, so have Liège for the most part. So I can't really see that being as entertaining as maybe their actual names and history sort of would perceive for us to see. But then Antwerp Genk, sorry,
huge game.
First v second, massive game. Antwerp are playing almost in the next couple of minutes. Well, in the next sort of hour or so, I think. Interested. So just basically keep an eye on how that goes. They're playing Oostende at home, which is a good fixture, I guess. But Genk have been really good recently, mainly at home, but they have had good away victories as well. So I think that would be a tight game if I had to guess. I don't know. Even though Genk do score a lot of goals, away to Antwerp is a tough place to go.
Yeah, I would agree. So it's maybe a defensive battle is what we're expecting to see in this game, a 0-0 or 1-0 or something. USG play Bruges. That's a heavyweight bout, isn't it?
Yeah, that'll be big. Very tough one to call. Obviously, they'll both play midweek as well. They both obviously won't want to lose that one either. So that'll be a tough one to call, honestly.
I had Boyata come back in this midweek for Bruges, which I'm bloody ecstatic to see. But I need to figure out if he's in a rotation pattern or if he's in to be number one ahead of the World Cup, because Boyata does get called into Belgium squads on the reg,
He does.
And so Adoy, Michele and Boyata, that's good, because the guy that was keeping him out was that guy Silla or something like that.
Yeah, I think he got injured. Silla did actually, yeah.
Oh, did he? He has been quality. He's been worrying the crap out of me.
He's been good. He's been good. He's pretty young as well. I think he's 19, 20.
Yeah. This guy.
So I think he's
Abakar
Silla,
Silla,
that's him.
Benching, red card. Or was that
okay.
So but it looks like he's on the bench here. Yeah, he's on the bench for that game there. So did he come on? Did he come on for Sunday? No, I don't see him. That's weird. I don't understand that. So I don't know if I want to play Boyata this week. That looks amazing, but I cannot wait. I hope this is a regular thing I see from him. I think he could be OP.
100%.
But I don't know what to read on that yet, because this guy's been good, man, and he is young, and like Bruce can just play him for another 2 months and sell him for 10 million, and they've still got Boyata. That might be the way they look at it, and that fucking pisses me off thinking about it.
Hi, is saying that Silla is much better than Boyata. He has a red card and will return after 3 games.
Oh, 3 games. So beautiful. Thanks for the intel on that. Oh, brilliant. So Boyata's in then. That's good.
Should be Boyata in, I think.
Oh, thank you very much. Who dropped that for us? Hey,
Mai. Yeah.
And Noosa season, love it, my man. Fist bump, good to see you. Was bossing Champions League and resting weekend for a bit. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is he getting into a rotation pattern or whatever? But if Silla's suspended, then beautiful. That kind of helps out with me. And Mechelen, Eupen love to concede goals for a hobby as well.
Yeah, it's a good fixture.
Again, La Liga 2, I actually have cards, so I've got a minor grasp on some of it, but I'm not gonna comment, so I don't want to give anyone any false perception on any of this. Besiktas against Atayaspor is an OP fixture. Atayaspor are whipping boys in Turkey, I'm pretty sure, from when I've had players playing them recently. And Besiktas, got quite a good squad at the moment and going pretty well, I'm pretty sure off the top of my head.
Fener at home.
Fener at home.
Well, Istanbul aren't normally that bad though, historically. I don't know what they're doing this season, but
they're definitely they're doing good. They're in a group in Europa League with Fiorentina and Hearts, and they're not doing bad. I've got a player from them as well. They're I don't know if they're amazing necessarily this season, but they're definitely not deflated. Like some of these teams disappeared.
Yeah.
Adanaspor versus Konyaspor again. It's very busy challenger. Very busy challenger weekend ahead. In the Prem, we've got Liverpool away at Forest, which should be an absolute doing if you can predict the Liverpool team if you've got any of those cards. In any scarcity, really, I expect him to rotate. I'm hoping Robbo comes in. He came off the bench last night or whatever, and I know he's been coming back from injury. Came off the bench against Rangers, so I'm hoping he starts the weekend. But I'm probably not gonna gamble on it. Unless anyone tells me it's a cert, of course. Salzburg against Sturm Graz, Harry. This is as hard as it gets for Salzburg.
Yeah, remember we said this a couple of weeks ago. Remember they played, who did they play? There was someone decent.
Austria Vienna. Or something
like
that.
Lask or something. Yeah, I think it was Lask. Because it was, and we were like, oh, well, I remember saying that, well, it won't be as easy as, the fixture or the team names sort of would present. And I think this is, like you said, probably even harder as a game, even though they're at home. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think this will be easy at all. Sturm Graz are a decent outfit.
Yeah. And they're performing quite well in their European group, and they've got Celtic loanee Albion Ajeti in goal scoring form for them. He's tucking away tidy goals, and he seems to have found his level. So well done to Albion, and let's see if he can help me in the hoops and challenger and break that Salzburg clean sheet, nice and early for us.
That'd be lovely.
Lask against Austria Vienna is probably the next biggest fixture you could put out with the remaining teams.
Or maybe Rapid at home, but
I mean Austria Klagenfurt for a wee team, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But these two are still decent, facing off each other. So maybe Austria's quite open actually, because a lot of these other minnow teams are playing each other, and if you know who should be spanking one of them 4-0, because that'll probably happen between these other teams. Somebody will beat somebody 3-0, and maybe they'll pick them.
100%.
So yeah.
100%.
Good to see that. France 2 and Korea. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not going to go into them tonight. Russia. Russia's always good for a glance. So Sochi, Zenit. Oh, that could be nice for non-Zenit cards. Lokomotiv and Dynamo. Another one that kind of cancels out some guys, maybe. Seska are away. And where's the last piece? Spartak, they're at home to Khimki. I think they're normally quite good at home at Khimki.
I was hearing Josh say that he seems to think the Zenit will win no less than 3 or 4-0 this weekend. So,
oh really?
Yeah, he thinks it's a really good fixture.
I listened to Josh's stream. I must have missed that, but okay, fair enough then. So he's still quite confident they pulled the clean sheet out. I'm less optimistic as Josh, but again, he follows it much closer than I. So mine's is more out of a want than a desire. I suppose his feeling probably is as well. So. So yeah, no, I think it could be 4-1 or 3-2 or something. You never know. In Spain, any amazing fixtures? Real Madrid against Seville. That I was going to say that feels like it's going to be a boring match, but Seville now have Sampaoli back in charge, and so Sampaoli, for anyone who's not familiar, you've probably seen one of his teams at some point. He's been managing forever. A very gung-ho manager, very vibrant character on the sidelines. So this might actually, they need to arrest their season. They really need to get back up and running. So that might be quite an entertaining fixture, even just to watch. And if you did have any cheeky Seville cards, maybe underdog or a specialist or something, there's a wee option there. Sociedad Valladolid should be good for Sociedad. Barca against Athletic is going to be a tough game. Athletic are one of the informed teams at the moment. And Barca, you don't need me to tell you what Barca are doing. Everyone knows at this point in time. So not a walkover game for Barca at all. Athletic have got a really high, I forget what the stats, but they've got one of these lovely stats that's super high, like expected forced XG or some mad stat like that. They've got, one of those
something
stats,
crazy.
but it's mega. They've got a super high number for it compared to what the average is. So they're in a good place now, so that could be a good one. I've got Ander Herrera, so let's see if he does something for a wee limited card. Anything you want to come across any of them, Harry? Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up with all these.
No, not really. No,
the whole world to look at.
I'm just having a little scroll down further down in terms of like the
MLS playoffs. Way.
Yeah, that was. I was going to get into the 2 games there. Austin FC, Dallas.
Texas Derby.
Yeah, it's a tough game that is. I like Dallas away though normally.
Cowboys.
Start of the season, they were better away than they were at home for a long time when I was watching them. And Austin 2-2 on the weekend with Salt Lake, 1 on pens. Dallas 1-1 with Minnesota, obviously 1 on pens. So I don't know. I see. I don't know. It's going to be a tight game because it's a playoff game. But then, like, I also think there will be goals.
Yeah.
Um, it probably goes the distance, as in, like, I don't think there'll be a clear winner in 90 minutes, just because of the nature of these games. I don't know. I just see there being a 1-1 or a 2-2 or something of that sort. I mean,
I don't know,
I don't
mate.
know. You'll be able to speak on the New York City more than I will, but
Yeah.
yeah, that Texas Derby will be a good game, definitely.
I think if you're going to watch one playoff game, you watch that Texas Derby, because Austin at home are so formidable and they've got a wee stadium, right? But if you've ever watched Austin, it's a carnival in there. You know, it's a real cauldron of an atmosphere, and it's a
Hmm.
playoff and it's a derby, and Dallas have got talent, you know, and I think it's going to be an open game. And I
Yeah,
could see this being like something mental, 3 each and then extra time. And, you know, I think it could be one of those games where everything and anything happens, you know. Um,
definitely.
so forward players, I wouldn't be shy. Goalkeepers, I don't know if you do back a defence, then good luck to you. It wouldn't be me. Um, but Montreal, New York screams like 0-0 all the way to penalty shootout.
Yeah, it really does, doesn't it?
So, but again, for defensive cards, that could be a good shout and whatever. But I don't. I think if you're a neutral, like watch Austin Dallas, I think you'll have a great time watching that if you can. If you've got
Definitely.
cards, then yeah, go for it. Attackers. Zagreb are playing
100%.
split, so a very similar situation to Salzburg there, which is maybe good for some of those for the rest of us that aren't on Zagreb. You know, Hajduk Split are one of the bigger teams in Croatia as well, and that takes us to the end of the fixture list. Hallelujah! Now, Harry, I'm going to throw over to your screen in a second, okay? And you can show us what teams you've got.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and you can let me know what you're fighting for. The prize pools have stayed relatively consistent for the last week or two. We spoke a lot about them on various streams and videos on the channels. The only thing I want to add into this is I have noticed a subtle increase. Like All Star Pros went from 170 to 173. I think the under 23 Pro is 68. I think it used to be 67. You know, so there's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you know, there's a minute movement here that's maybe we'll have a few more incrementals like that. So keep your eyes open. Check the prize pools every weekend. I highly, strongly recommend you do that. But
yeah.
yeah, Harry, I'm just going to flip over to your screen. And yeah, what we
No
got?
problem. So yeah, we're kicking it off with an under 23 pro as we always try and do. I've done a little bit of rejigging over the last week or so. I've sort of sold a couple of super rares that I probably didn't need or probably couldn't get as much value out of them as I needed to, or maybe utility wise. So yeah, I've brought in Muric, Burnley's goalkeeper,
Hero.
mainly because I do have a Jordan Bayer super rare, which is obviously a defender, a little defensive stack, and correlation is something that I don't know, maybe isn't as um, favorable, I guess, in under 23s or even available. Like it's just not really a thing.
Agreed.
Um, stacking and that's type of thing. But yeah, I've tried to sort of implement it. Obviously, I'm not doing that this weekend because Bayer actually wasn't didn't play last night. Company said that he had a bit of a knock in training, so they didn't want to risk him. So he might be okay for the weekend, but I'm not going to risk it anyway. Yeah, brought in Muric, got rid of Lafont because I just couldn't bear to look at him anymore. Obviously, Muric has midweeks as well. I've obviously not overpaid, but paid more for Muric than I sold Lafont for. So, I'm hoping that can kind of pay off over the next coming weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We're going with Timber, Connor Barron, super rare. They're playing against Motherwell away. It's going to be, like we mentioned, obviously tough game. I don't think there's any clear sort of winner in that sense or predicted winner, but I just think it'll just be a good game for midfielders and Barron. Varela at home, hoping or seems to be a really good fixture, and then Carlson away to Ezekiel, captain. I'm hoping he can just sort of get back, to where he was at one point. I've got a lot of super rare defenders out injured right now, and it's making my selections quite tough. I like going with a super rare defender normally in my under 23 pro. I'm obviously forced not to this weekend, as I'll sort of show you. But then yeah, under 23 super rare is where we're playing basically our only fit, and I mean he doesn't even have that good of a fixture. He's playing away to Antwerp, so that's how sort of dreaded my super rare defender situation is right now. But yeah, cooking goals, good fixture at home, clean sheet last night. Like I said, Cuesta, tough fixture. Florentino, tough fixture away to Porto, but I'm just hoping, there's loads of interceptions, duels, and tackles there for him. Zaidu's got a nice home fixture. Pacos de Ferreira at home. And then, as we said, Zion at home to West Brom. So I'm hoping there can be some decisives in it for him. And then that brings us on to our under 23 rare team. that Costa's kind of been demoted to. It's the type of game where Costa ends up getting like an 80 and they end up keeping out Benfica. It might be a 0-0, and that'll just hurt me a little bit. But as long as the rest of the guys can do something. And I bought in a Melon Mulassin. We mentioned the Vitesse fixture earlier. I paid like 120 quid for him. I'm really low, like I said, really low on super rare defenders because of injuries, but I'm also even lower on rare defenders. Fofana's out injured. João Victor's out injured. I've basically got Timber and that's it. So I'm really, really struggling right now. And then, midfielders, Pedri at home. I'm seeing what's going to happen tonight, and then I'll change something if I need to. Utkin's away to Fakel, who are actually not that bad. Like, their league position isn't great, but I don't think it's that easy of a fixture. So I'm open to changes there. And then Odegaard's away, like we said, same as Carlson. This could change. This could turn into like maybe Jesus Ferreira, something along the lines. And I do obviously have Enzo in there somewhere. So, something like this could very, very well happen. I'll sort of decide that later on tonight. And then, just a cheeky little underdog team. Nico Williams at home to Liverpool, ex-club. I'm hoping he can do something, not get sent off. Slattery at home to Aberdeen. So I'll have Slattery playing against Conor Barron basically in that game. And then Magnus Matsson at home to Go Ahead Eagles. Honestly, all these, apart from Nico, are decent enough fixtures. And Miguel De La Fuente, who's my new tier 2 super rare forward, at home to Gijón. So it could do something as long as Liverpool don't smash Forest, which is very probable, of course. And then like I said, little all-star rare team that doesn't even have a goalkeeper or a defender. So excited. Just hoping I can sort of stay clear of DMPs as we all want to do. Hopefully I can sort of get my under 23 rare right. So if any suggestions in the comments are definitely welcomed, because I'm not set on Pedri, Utkin, and Odegaard. It could, like I said, could be Ferreira, could be Enzo, any combination of them. So let me know. But that's me for this weekend.
Awesome. Good set of lineups you've got there, and a lot to look forward to for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for sure. What's Gusto saying? Who would you play in your extra slot? Tony Cruz, Rafael Leao, Jasper Carlsen. Ooh.
AZ guy. Carlsen.
Probably the AZ guy. But then Cruz could easily score 100 against Sevilla because they just could.
The way they play.
If he plays, but Carlsen if you want decisives.
I think, that's probably the safest one to go for out of them. I'm actually just looking at my teams now that I know that Boyata's going to come back in. It makes me want to maybe rethink some of my teams, which is a can of worms I've not opened up on a stream for a while, so I don't know. And again, everyone in the stream's telling me that Robbo, fist bump to all you guys, by the way, that are telling me this. Robbo's in to start, you're all picking him. So we're in it together then, that's fine. Tavukin's been struggling this season, says it's Gusto. Would you mind taking a look at Patrick Zupicic? Sniper number 7, come back on Friday. We'll be doing a member stream, we'll get it done then, buddy. And I'm just catching up on some of the stuff. Was Boston Champions League and rest? Oh, sorry. I've caught up all that stuff. And fist bump to Santa's boys. And we like the Dallas matchup. And SMB is asking about Yibber Ramadani. That's not a name I know, but is he maybe one of those Napoli guys, or is he playing Italy or Germany? I forget. But
I'm not sure.
But so I'm kind of wanting to throw a lot of my teams in the bin and go again, because I think Boyata playing centre defence is 80 plus capable again. But I'm quite happy with how I've built all the teams I've kind of built to this point. Like, I went with this team. I think all these guys will start at the weekend for Celtic, like almost unquestionably. Like, I do think Giakoumakis comes back in for Kyogo. Hatate, Moy, Jens and Hart, I think are all quite nailed on to start. No real many question marks. So if they all start and then Celtic do what they do against Hearts, then hopefully Challenger, I could do something there maybe, It's not many game weeks where I've managed to get Giakoumakis into that situation of almost knowing again that he was going to play. I had a little period like that last year when Kyogo was injured, but when Kyogo's been fit, it's been a bit of a nightmare. So I've got a good hunch that he plays at the weekend, and I don't mind putting him into a D3 to be my, to be my goal scoring striker. Superior in that respect. I did want to go quite hard on specialists this week. My goalkeeper's got a good fixture. Maeda, I think, is going to feature significantly in the match. I don't know if he starts or not. Both the midfielders here are L15 under 40, and Rio's an OP defender card potentially. And I don't really... So again, I'm maybe thinking, is there someone else I could put Rio? My big team, All-Star Rare Pro, I tried to keep it non-Celtic. So I went with Braze and Unal, but what I'm thinking is maybe Boyata could maybe come in here and I could rejig some of this. And that would maybe free up Unal because I'm quite light on forward super rares elsewhere for another team that might have a good shot at something with the right support around it. So let's say I would put All Black into here, bring Boyata in. I wonder if maybe even... So Boyata, I'd keep Braze here, keep Sensei, and then can we go to a rare forward from Unal that's worth a shot? Yeah, I don't really have any rare forwards that are great to start this weekend. It's a lot of super rares. Like Kyogo, I'm not convinced he starts. Maeda might start, but I'm not convinced. Tate probably does, but yeah, I could probably go with Tate. He's in a weekly team, but screw it. Let's put Tate there. What do you think? Did you think that team could win something?
I don't see why not, to be honest.
Does it look better than what it was with Unal and Callens and no, I don't think it. No, I don't know. That's maybe not the team to edit. I think that team's quite good for it. Unal should score a goal. He should do something. Maybe the rare mid isn't a great pick, but I'm quite light on rares this week once I kind of spread them out. Because Santi, I could, but it's that playoff game. I don't fancy it for goals. But yeah, so I've got a few kind of sliding doors on some of these now. For Challenger, like obviously I've got like get Craig Gordon and Snodgrass at Hearts, and it's kind of hard to play them this week because they're playing Celtic, but I am going to play them, you know. So it's like I don't know if Taylor's going to start. He might, but I reckon Bernabe starts. Like, Taylor might DNP on me. And Kyogo, the same thing's happened to him in the league recently. He sat on the bench and not came off. Not last weekend, but the weekend before, I think it was. So they're both a mild risk, but equally they could backfire on me. So again, like this team is just kind of put out there, and Tony fills it out because I know Tony will play, and he's the captain. So if he does something, maybe he'll carry this team to something. And but yes, I'm quite light on strikers because in the next super rare team I'm relying on Cunha. So I just don't have any other strikers left after I've used Maeda, Rio, because I know this team. I'm pretty sure this team's good. This is probably my favourite team of the weekend, to be honest with you. I think Moyes 90 capable if he gets an assist or two like he did in the cup the other night and whatever.
Definitely.
So I think that team could really power out. But then, seeing I say that out loud, Harry, that makes me think we'll just take this team and put it into All Star, Rare Pro. But then I think I don't know if that. I actually got some last minute dilemmas that I'm wrestling with. You know, I've put the Kaiser into specialist, thinking he might come back in this week after Barkas get pumped last week, and this is a nice little Scottish like Celtic kind of vibe specialist team. Benkovic ex-player, Mikey Johnson's out on loan in Portugal. Everyone's telling me Forrest is going to play again, and then Hatate is going to play. Of course he is. So maybe that's just a mad shot in the dark team. But then I'm like, why did I put an Hatate card into this when I know he's going to play and he could maybe be useful somewhere else? Maybe I'm better putting Kyogo in here. In fact, then I've got that Rio available now. Yeah, that's probably a better shout. Because Kyogo still probably does come off the bench in this game. That's probably a better shout. Yeah.
I was watching the Aberdeen Hearts highlights on the week, actually yesterday, and the amount of chances both teams had to score was like ungodly. Like it was a 5-minute highlight reel, and I swear on my life, I must have seen 15 like clear cut goal scoring opportunities, and only 2 goals were scored. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Aberdeen beat them on the weekend. Just couldn't believe it. Like it was just ridiculous amount of like, I don't know, just weirdly good opportunities to score, but they just weren't taking them. So I think Celtic could steamroll Hearts, if I'm honest.
I hope so, man. I hope so. And they've got midweeks to, they still have a slender hope of doing something if they say their prayers and they win the lottery, kind of thing. So yeah, maybe it does. Maybe I hope it is, but it's hard to over forecast away to Hearts because it's just typically it's not an easy game to go into. I've still got lists knocking around, and now what I'm starting to think, Harry, is that I play lists instead of I've got a playing keeper left, and that I play lists in basically Champion Europe, rare or pro. I don't really get cards for it, in fact. Yeah, so what I'm now thinking is I've actually got a keeper. I can actually make this specialist an actual contender. I can dinghy that gamble play. I can put lists in here and take this team actually serious because he played the last game.
Yeah, I'd probably do that.
Mukiele's a good shout, eh? I think he could play that game if somebody come off injured recently. Callens is a 65 shout. Angelino, I don't want to touch because Hoffenheim could concede free, even though they've been really good defensively. It's just not a play to back in that respect.
No, definitely not.
Guardiola, I don't know what to make of him, man. He's been in and out with midweek and weekend rotation. They do need to start winning in the league, but Leipzig, they can't be rested. They're not Bayern, It's kind of hard to read that situation, but so Benko, I picked him because he's just nailed. He definitely starts.
Yeah,
they're at home. That was kind of the idea 100%. With it. So I don't know if Mukele's got a big peak in him. Maybe go with Mukele.
I'd go for Guardiola if you. I think. Well, yeah, I'm seeing like 0-73-0. I don't know. In my head, that just means it feels like he's just going to play the next one.
Sure. Forest, we don't reckon he gets dropped. Mikey Johnson, we like it's an L15 under 40 with Forest. And then, Kyogo. And then do we put Rio back in here and take it seriously again?
Possibly, yeah. I would. I mean, yeah. Do you think Mickey Johnson actually starts, though? I know he's...
Okay. Can we get a better option than Mickey in here?
I'd probably go with that Benkovic guy that you had. I'd go Liz, Guardiola, Forest, and then either Hatate, Kyogo up front, and then Benkovic as the extra. Like going with two defenders, if that makes sense.
Go with two defenders.
Would kind of be my play if you want to take it not serious, but most of those guys are going to start type of thing.
Yeah.
And maybe do something. Do you not think Kyogo starts, do you?
I think I need another L15 under 40 if I take out Mikey Johnson.
Sorry. Yeah, it would go off.
I've just noticed that myself. So I'm thinking I would probably put Mukiele in that respect because he's L15 under 40 and he's got peaks. I've got Hebert as well, who's a forward and probably starts against Montreal because Magno's injured. I've got Ferran Torres, who could come off the bench. I've got Keaton Parks, who maybe starts. I think Mukiele is probably the best shout. Do you think Guardiola? I think that's a good shout as well.
Gusto reckons maybe use Ferran Torres.
Oh yeah, he did come on. I didn't mind giving Torres a shout because he scored off the bench the other day, so he's maybe getting his goal scoring touch back after getting slated for a while. You can check.
Well, they reckon he might start tonight. Actually, Ferran.
Well, if he starts tonight, I don't think he starts at the weekend.
Probably not. No. Well, it depends how good he plays. I would say, to be honest.
You think so?
Yeah, because obviously they then play Bayern on Tuesday or Wednesday, so it wouldn't be like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like they've got 2 league games before Champions League right now as we speak. So, yeah.
Ramos is suspended as well, and Ferreira's not fit. Yeah, Mukele's the man. You guys in the live chat, I fucking love you. Thanks for the intel. Aaron Johns, fist bump. Yeah. Good to see you, my man. Scores in here giving info as well. Sorry if you can hear me munching on Twix. I just got the hungers there. I really needed to eat. But yeah, 65% says Finn Crockart for Josko. I'm kind of hesitant on him as well, but Harry makes a good point. And if we look at Guardiola, he didn't play in the cup game that was last night. I'm pretty sure that was a fully rotated team. Like Benjamin Henriks played centre mid next to Kevin Campbell, for example. Yusuf Poulsen started. I think Novoa started. So yeah, he's been not playing league but playing Champions League in the last wee bit of rotation. Right after a period of starting all the time. And then I don't know if that was maybe the Celtic doubleheader. They just wanted to make sure that they did beat us with the rotations in the middle there. But the one afterwards doesn't make sense. If he doesn't play at the weekend, did he play the cup? Let's double check that, because I just know I didn't get any notifications I did for other players, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So let's check out if he played the cup game. He played 45. It was at the first or the second 45. He came on at half time for Orban. So who did they have? Yeah. So that's a kind of shared thing. So I think probably Orban and Guardiola then come in to start. Diallo's had plenty of minutes. He probably gets rested. Or, I don't know, Diallo looked really good at Parkhead, didn't he, Harry? I was really impressed with him. I thought he looked quality.
Yeah, he looked unbelievable, to be fair, in that little cameo that he had. So,
Guardiola's a bit of a spicy one now. But Mukele's a defender, I suppose, so I can put him in here for Guardiola. We've got Forrest as the other one. Hatate plays. The goalkeeper probably plays. The goalkeeper takes up the else. I don't have that problem, I suppose. I've not got many amazing players to throw in here. I could have thrown Jota in, but if I didn't have the goalkeeper as high on the punt. Eo Tanaka's away. I don't fancy that. I think we come back to Benkovic then again, don't we? You fancy the defender that's guaranteed to play,
Probably.
Harry?
I would, yeah. I wouldn't. You've got risks elsewhere, quote unquote. Would you need another one type of thing? Is kind of
Yeah,
the
well,
way I sort of look at it.
yeah, okay. I think, yeah, sure. And Hibbert, so I think Hibbert's the other shout, or Falcao at home at Cadiz. Oh, and Falcao's
Ooh.
L15 under 40, so he could even. Oh no, well we don't even need him to replace empty. Maybe just use him for an underdog team myself, rather than burden him in this team. But no, let's go Benko then. Benko's getting the shouts. Double defence, Forrest and Hatate to make it happen.
Yeah.
That feels like a team that
Yeah, I
could.
don't mind that.
None of those players are going to infiltrate my better teams, certainly.
No, not
Maybe,
at all.
yeah. So we're going with Robbo, Castellanos. I like all these kind of guys. Is there any? Who's the extra spot? Let's see. Who have I not picked? So yeah, Guardiol, who's iffy. Kyogo, Ferran, Mikey. I can maybe get a good underdog team out of some of these, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't think I'll be. Yeah, let's try and make an underdog team with this. So, guys, feel free to help out. You guys at home with the intel or opinions on some of these guys who will be 50-50s and whatever. And I want a cool. There we go. Setford rookie. He can be my mascot. Right, sound. And then Raiders. Let's see. So we've got Guardiol. I think he comes in then, doesn't he? We've got
Yeah,
Guardiol.
he's got
These
to, hasn't
NYC guys aren't playing. We've used Benko. Yeah, so let's bring in Guardiol into this team. And then who else do I have? Do you think Ncham will play against Cardiff? Do you have any take on that?
I'd have to have a little look at. Let me have a look at
Very
Swansea's.
flaky. I've got Mikey Johnson. I've got Reina as well. Reina's coming into the team as people are getting injured. Maybe Reina's worth a punt. What do you think about Gio Reyna, everyone at home? I'm not. Jonathan Gargi's asking me. I actually think if you pushed me, Jonathan, I think Abada starts right wing with Haxa on the left and GG through the middle. But like we're saying, how do you drop a guy that scored a hat trick? You know.
It's really hard to do that, honestly.
So yeah, but
I wouldn't play Nicham, by the way. Sorry, just to
wouldn't?
interrupt. Nah, it doesn't look. Well, they won last game 3-2. He came on for 1 minute. I just don't see how.
Ben Crockett, fist bump.
And they lost 4-0 the previous game to Burnley, and he played that game. So he's clearly lost his sort of chance, I guess, for now.
Yeah.
I'm
going to play Mickey Johnson in this team then, because I think he's got a good shout at starting. You know, they're kind of loving him over there. Then I've got Hibbert and I've got Falcao. All right, let's play Falcao. He's just scored against Atleti. He's at home against a crap team. And then do I have anyone else that's exciting enough to go into a fun team like this? Hibbert, you know, yeah. Dyson Maeda, rare card. I've still got that. He should feature significantly. But it's just if he gets enough. And then Reina, I've still got Gio Reyna. I don't know if we fancy him. What does Play Sharper say about Dortmund? That'd be interesting. Germania. Where is Germania? There it is. Bundesliga. And Borussia Dortmund. Adeyemi, Royce. Yeah, so they think Royce is in? That's fine then. Yeah, I'm not going to think about Gio Reyna. Falcao we go with. And the last spot, Harry, we've got Maeda or Hibbert. I think are the best shouts. Tanaka, maybe Snodgrass. If I wasn't a Celtic fan, I'd maybe consider, but not this week. What do you think? It's a coin toss really between a few of these. I'm probably going to go Hibbert because I think he's going to start. And then
yeah,
the
I'd probably say
captain.
Hibbert.
If Josko starts, he's big score capably, but Augsburg aren't mugs. Mikey Johnson's either, yeah, he's boom or bust. So is Falcao and I'm probably going to go Mikey on the captain pick on that. But yeah, I think that'll be me for my kind of my rare teams and stuff. And then see what I'm going to do for the limited, Harry. Is I'm going to build a specialist, and then the rest of them I'm just going to do autofill on that new Sorare data feature. And then I've got for Challenger, I've got obviously the community picking the team for that. So anyone at the beginning of the stream. So I'm probably just going to throw together this team with everyone, and then we'll lovies and leavies. We'll call it good night. But don't forget to catch out Looking Up on Sorare TV. That's out live now also, and we've got other stuff coming here, there, and everywhere. Just thought I'd let you know about that. But yeah, so goalkeeper wise, I don't know if I've got any good L15 under 40 shouts this week for a goalkeeper in my gallery. Took him on. Let's play him. He's fighting for the title. Any good L15 under 40s defence? I've got Nicholas Stark. He could be a good play. Sriracha. Yeah, I might even just play that guy I just seen, by the way. is my guy in here. So took him on, and Carlos Lampe, Nicholas Stark away as well. So hopefully good defensive stats are getting caught in the away fixtures. Goretzka could score mega against Hoffenheim, and he's not even he's not over 60 or anything. Up front, let's see, Kramaric is out. I don't have any good L15 under 40 strikers. I think I've got Falcao again. I could double up on the Falcaos once again. I might do that actually. It's like I just think it's a really good fixture for them. Balotelli's questionable. Yeah, let's do it. Where is he? Falcao. And then my last one needs to be L15 under 40, so we just need to find the best card for that. Harry. Who do we have? Haksabanovic is in 42. Hong Chau. Gabri Vega, who's at home against Getafe. That could be okay. He's a wee U23 mid, I like. Heber is on 39. I think maybe we go Heber. Because he's going to score a goal and get 60, and that's kind of what we're after, isn't it?
Yeah, that could definitely work.
Aye, let's do that. That's an easy one. Heber and Falcao, all gold strikers. We just need both of them to bag over 60. Stark to do a 72. Goretzka to do an 80. Lampe does 100 because he's a hero as well. Quality. Winning team, you caught it here first. Magic. And yeah.
I love it.
We're all set, Harry. How excited are you for the game week? Oh, you know what? I'll show you right as we leave, actually. The very last thing. Actually, sorry. How excited are you for the game week? Sorry.
No, I'm actually, I'm not. I am really excited, to be honest. I'm just happy that I've got a goalkeeper through the door that I'm sort of trusting for now. And yeah, I've got hopefully three teams in with a shout of something, which is always my goal, basically. And yeah, I am really, really excited, honestly.
I can't wait for it. I'm getting told in the chat that Falcao's only 30% to start. I don't care. He's going to score from the bench regardless. Falcao's a hero to us all. I might change one of the Falcaos out, so I've got two right. But what I was going to say, sorry, is I do have my game week 1 basketball stuff going on, and it would be remiss of me not to show you my common teams that I'm going out with.
Yeah.
So I've got them on screen. I'll kind of do them like that, kind of show them one at a time thing rather than mess about with the page. But I've got my common, what's this, champion team? Common champion. Yeah. I'm under the price cap by 10 points. Got 2 guys in the same team that have got names that people talk about, so they're probably good. My guy that I watched, he's in here. This other guy, Sex, that I've been told to watch out for. And then this other guy, Ingram, he's the second highest scorer in the whole team. And I don't know who he is. So maybe that works out. That could be fun. And then I was recording earlier with Trip and B, and he helped me put this team together with the rest of my commons. So it's like 4 points under the price cap. And, this division's much more of a free-for-all, I think, because it is like there's no freebie hit like you get in that champion division. You get the MVP guy that can be a free runner.
Yeah.
So, first week, I've got no expectations, no targets or objectives, but relatively buzzing to get going. And then my training teams, you want to see my training teams. All gold and red. I'm starting to build out wee squads and seeing how they might go together and stuff, so exciting times. I wonder what I would call Barcelona in basketball terms. Would it be the Lomond Barças or something? Or the Lomond... I may get a cheesy basketball name, like the Lomond... Like, I think Pelicans keep coming into my mind because I was talking about them earlier with somebody. I don't want to say the Lomond Pelicans, but yeah, any suggestions for NBA franchises for FC Barcelona? Let me know. I'm happily adopt it. Ingram is class. Sexton had a very good game last night. First game at a new club. Andre, somebody else told me that. Love it. Geez, did everyone get a Nick Claxton common? Did they? That'd be really interesting. I think he's on a good team. In the position he plays, he can be a good facilitator card, so he's maybe a good one to get. And then Sorare Bragg Influencers League. Oh my God, Mikey Baston, thanks very much for the catch on that. So you need to, oh Jesus, what is that again? It's 8 aside. Harry, we need to do this before we go. I'm really sorry. I didn't plan on this stream lasting so long, so Harry, I'm sorry if you need the toilet. Feel free to take a run, mate. We've been on for an hour and a half.
No.
I need to check.
I'm all good.
My camera's cooking as well, by the way. I don't know how much longer it'll hang on for, but we do need to do this, okay? So I need to go on to Sorare Mega. Now I'm going to change screen for 2 seconds, Harry. I need to go on to Sorare Mega and build my Mega 8. Now, what you guys need to do is go on to Sorare Bragg and find the Influencers League thing. It's called SIL on that kind of thing. Back Quinny, back me. I'm your boy, FC Barcelona. And then you pick my players. You use my cards for free, and you can win cards by picking my best team and us beating whoever we're faced up against. Last week, he's picked Talis Magno, who was a known DNP, and we lost by 50 points, guys, which is disappointing. But, you know, we've got a strong enough gallery. We can be taking on these other guys from around the world. We want to be beating them. It's 8 aside. Right, I'm going to build my mega 8, right? And then you can use your own opinions, of course, guys. But again, it's very similar. It's popular demand. It picks the team. So in goals this game week, right? Who do we think is the best goalkeeper for FC Barcelona across all scarcities? Who do we think is the shout? I think Lampe is probably my pick because I just think he's a big game player. They're still wrestling to fight for the top, and they'll need a clean sheet to do that. And that's going to need Carlos Lampe to be King Lampe. So I think I play Lampe.
Yeah.
If limiteds are allowed, actually, I'm not sure if they are or not. I better double check that, in fact. In that Influencers League thing. In defence, I go Jens. I think Jens is an easy pick on all scarcities because I think he'll definitely play for Celtic. I think I go Jens quite easily. Somebody let me know, by the way, on that Influencers League, if we need to be picking not limiteds, let me know. And then Mukiele, we reckon's a great shout. He's going to play for PSG and he's going to score out massive points. In midfield, Aaron Moy goes straight in because he's 80 plus capable this game week. Santi Rodriguez is a great shout. I wouldn't blame any of these for picking any of my guys that are likely to just generally start and have a good game. But I think my ones I would probably push you towards would be Santi and Sensi, just because I think both of their fixtures lend themselves to them being standout players in their game. Particularly if we do need to stick with rares, and we're not getting the luxury of going limited and picking Goretzka or Haksabanovic or something like that. And then up front, the last two strikers, like I think we have to pick Giakoumakis because we know he's going to play. Basically, we don't know, but I'm going to be wildly surprised if Giakoumakis is not starting that game. And we know Hatate is going to start, so maybe we could call upon Hatate as a forward or a defender. I don't know if a clean sheet against Hearts is something we want to bank on. So maybe we go for Hatate in that. And then Captain Moy. Moy's the most 100 capable. Maybe Mukiele. And if we're not allowed to come on, I would go for maybe Sean John or Hart. It's a real coin tosser, really. Yeah, all my goalkeepers are all much for muchness, I suppose. It's mad. Oh no, Viviano. Viviano's the pick. Scratch that. Away to some team should do well enough without a clean sheet, scoring points and whatever. So yeah, Hatate and GG up top, midfield three of Santi, Sensi and Moy, and then a back two of Mukiele and Jens with Viviano in goals is the shout for that, guys. Thanks very much for the catch, Mikey boy. And Harry, it's been an absolute pleasure, my man. Thanks for staying with me for as long as you have. Thanks to everyone who has joined us tonight. I really appreciate it. Good luck this game week, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, thank you guys, and thank you, Connie, for having me.